afternoon, friends. My name is Shautsova. I'm a New York immigration attorney. And tonight we're going to be discussing the most interesting recent immigration news. I'm going to talk about Dream and Promise Act that was reintroduced yesterday by it's a bipartisan effort. I'm going to talk about new vetting center that DHS is setting up in Atlanta, Georgia, to conduct more vetting. And of course, as always, we will be discussing topics that are of interest to you. So please join me. Let me know where you're watching from and type up your questions. Don't forget to like and share this stream. If you're watching me on TikTok, please send your hearts. If you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube, please like and share. We're going to be discussing very important topics today, and let's start. Well, I guess it is a good news that we're going to start with. It's the fact that Senator Durbin and Senator Murkowski reintroduced the Dream and Promise Act project. It's a proposal under which dreamers would receive conditional status in the United States, and then they would have an opportunity to file for permanent status in the United States. This is not the first time this particular proposal is being discussed. It's not the first time Senator Durbin is trying to make a difference. In fact, he's been introducing law to help dreamers to get green cards in the United States every year since 2001. Nevertheless, I feel like, especially right now, it's a courageous act, a step, very important step that they're undertaking in order to try to really fix our immigration system rather than focus on this heartless, abrasive enforcement. Okay, so if Republicans and Democrats, of course, would give this bill a try, what's going to happen is that kids who were brought to the United States prior to turning 18 years old and have been residing in the United States for the past 4 years. This is the version of the Dream and Promise Act that it's been discussed since February of 2025. Such kids would be able to file for conditional residency in the United States, and it would be given for them for 10 years. But then, after 5 years, they will be able to file for green cards. Under Dream and Promise Act also, TPS holders would be able to get and file for green cards immediately. It opens up direct pathway for green cards. Very important to understand that. If we lived in a fair and just world, it would be amazing if this act would pass now. Why? Because as you are aware, many TPS holders are losing their status. And this particular version of the law would have been a lifesaver for them, right? Because instead of basically becoming homeless or going back to very dangerous countries, they would be able to apply for status and get a green card in the United States. I do not know what's going to happen. I do not know how things are going to develop. Honestly, I feel like now is the best time to try to fix the immigration system and pass this law, especially for these two groups of immigrants, because they deserve it. I'm not saying that everybody else does not, but this group of immigrants, kids, and people who are from this dangerous natural disaster stricken countries or some revolution is going on in their homes, I think the wars definitely deserve a break. So we're gonna see. For now, this is the announcement. At least somebody is doing something when it comes to our elected officials. Somebody is trying to fight for you guys, and it is worth knowing these people's names. And of course, if you are a US citizen or you're a green card holder, you absolutely have to keep these people in your mind when you're going to be voting the next time around. Now, another very important thing I wanted to discuss with you relates to new vetting center that the United States government is setting up. And I understand this new vetting center is going to work on every single immigration case that is pending, that is going to be filed, or even cases that were already approved. USCIS announced today that they're creating new vetting center. They're opening it in Atlanta, Georgia. And this vetting center will be responsible for checking all immigrants in the United States, especially those ones that are on a special list designated by the president of countries of concern. I think it's going to be first those 19 countries that we already have a list of. This first 19 countries. Remember that currently nationals of certain 19 countries cannot receive any benefits in the United States. And there is a complete and full stop on them receiving any benefits in the United States. So I think that this new vetting center, once it is fully operational, this will be the place that will be checking the immigrants. And according to the announcement, it's going to conduct classified and non-classified screening. Probably it's going to include complete review of your social media posts first, your residential history, where you resided in the United States and out of the United States, passports, travels, bookings for the flights, again, comments online, and things like that. And perhaps it also going to investigate as anonymous complaints that certain good souls are submitting to ICE every single day about many immigrants. Well, how do I know this? Well, because my office receives phone calls all the time from people who are saying that they would like reports so and so to ICE. I guess when people search for ICE numbers online, they don't realize they call an immigration lawyer instead. And this is what they're saying. They say, I would like to report my neighbor, my girlfriend, my ex wife. I would like to just report someone. And we receive tons of those phone calls every single day. I'm sure other immigration lawyers do too. But now imagine how many phone calls do reach the destination. And not only phone calls, online tip forms as well. So pretty much if you're not a US citizen, anyone can complain about you. And currently such complaints mostly are not being considered by the government because they don't have resources to do so. But if you recall, when this administration took over, they did say that they will be reviewing all those complaints. And I think this place, this vetting center in Atlanta, will be the place that's going to be doing that, right? So that's where the resources are going currently, and the focus of this administration is specifically on severe vetting and even reconsidering already approved cases. All right. And now, guys, if you have questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. Yesterday on TikTok, last night, I did discuss news about work permits and the fact that the government changed the validity of the work permits starting from today. If your application to renew or receive a work permit is pending or going to be filed starting December 5th, 2025, you're no longer going to receive a 5-year work permit if you filed it under CO8 category, CO9 category, C10 category, A5 category, A10 category, and I believe there was one more. I don't recall currently. But those are the most popular categories. Asylum pending, adjustment of status pending, pending cancellation of removal, refugee or asylee, and withholding of removal granted. Okay, 18 months opposed to 5 years. That's what you guys are going to receive. It means you will have to file to renew the work permit as soon as you can, 6 months, within 6 months prior to the expiration. It means that your employer will have to re-verify your eligibility for employment frequently. You also may potentially face problems with the DMV. All right, so very important to understand that. If you already hold a 5-year work permit, that they're not going to take away from you. But the new ones are going to be limited in time. All right. Now, guys, if you have questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. Hi, Duella. Hi, Ali. Hi, Waleem. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to share the stream. Hi, Moses. If you're from the 19 countries, one of the 19 countries, does it affect your green card renewal and extension? I think it does, because they stated it even affects your oath ceremony. No benefits whatsoever. They stated that until they lift the pause, nothing will be approved for people from these 19 countries. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Greetings. I filed a VAWA package with adjustment and work permit travel document in August of 2025. Will new EAD rule apply? Yes, it will. If you have not received your work permit, unfortunately, you will fall under this new rule with shorter work permit times. Hi, guys from TikTok. Thank you very much for watching. Hi, Sil. Hi, Saleh. Hi, Abbas. Let's see what questions we have tonight. If you guys have any questions on immigration, let me know. We're discussing most recent immigration news and whatever question related to United States immigration. All right. Thank you very much for your gifts, guys. Let's see. Hi, Claudia. Interested in visiting or job or work? Hi, Mr. Khan. I know many immigrants would like to visit the United States. If you're not on the list, if you're not coming from one of those 19 countries, right? Technically, you can file for B1, B2 visa. You do have to demonstrate that you are not an immigrant, that you do not have an immigrant intent. It's very important. So you would return back to your home country, right? And in terms of work, we have very limited work opportunities in terms of visas in the United States. H-1B, but with new H-1B rules, I think it will be extremely difficult to find an employer unless you're from an IT sector who is willing to pay $100,000 for you to come to the United States. L1 is a good option, but you have to work for the company, international company, overseas first, and then that company is transferring it to the United States. That's maybe a good option. Of course, if you're a seasonal worker, you may consider H-2B in agricultural sector, for example, right? And that's about it. There is an E2, but not everyone can use it. It's for special investors, international investors and traders, E2. What else do we have? There is O1 visa for people who are talented in a certain area of their expertise. But that's about it. So qualifications for work visas are pretty high. Most in most cases, these are non-immigrant or dual intent visas that I mentioned. You have to have an employer, unless, of course, it's an O1 visa, where technically you can be your own employer, but you will have to organize a company, corporation, or you can have to have an agent that's going to be sponsoring you. All right. Thank you, Interpol Callis. Thank you very much for your kind words. Let's see. Guys from TikTok, how are you doing? Hi, Robin. How long does it take to get receipt notice these days? I think these days doesn't take that long, to be honest. For most cases, we receive receipts if we filed them recently within 30 days. Okay. I even started receiving receipts for cases I filed back in March or April when it comes to VAWA. So it's a good sign. They finally started clearing up the backlog of cases they got. Hi, Kamara. How long asylum take if you're from Gambia? All right. So the good news if you're from Gambia is that you're not on the list of those 19 countries. So that's good. How long would your asylum case take? Really, nobody knows. First, it depends on whether you are in court or you're still waiting for your interview. Did you have your interview or not? Very important, right? Second, if you had your interview, right now, the government is not issuing any decisions on interviews. You need to know that. Again, there is another backlog of interviews. So you need to know that, and it's very important to understand that currently you will be experiencing delays. Let's see. Is Syria going to be added to the banned list? I'm not sure. The government did say that they would like to expand the list, and total there will be about 30 countries on that banned list. But so far, I don't have any credible information that Syria will be on that list if they haven't been added yet. Okay. Let's see if we have more questions. If you guys have questions that you would like to, and some of you, I see your questions online, they should really be confidential. It's best if you book a confidential appointment so we don't discuss things publicly. Remember that, especially with a new vetting center, all your comments and everything that you say online is publicly accessible information, and there is no confidentiality or privilege. Okay. It means that it can be used against you at any point. Very important to understand that. But general questions, please ask them. Thank you, Nick. How long is I-751 taking? That actually is taking a very long time. I-751 petition to remove conditions on your green card is taking at least 2.5 years. All right, at least. Now, it may change, but that's what I've seen so far. For some reason, it takes the government a very long time to make a decision. Perhaps because they feel that they would like to conduct a very thorough background, because they will be giving you a permanent green card and then you're going to be filing for citizenship. All right. All right. Алена, скажите, почему туризм не запрещен, например, в Северную Корею? All right, there is a question in Russian. Why tourism is allowed to North Korea? I'm not sure why it's allowed. I feel that, there is this general principle that you may go wherever you want to if you understand the risks of travel. Like, I feel that it's very risky to go to countries like North Korea, for example, where the laws are different. There is no due process rights. For me, from my point of view, there are no any kind of rights, right? You make one wrong move and you're an enemy of the state and they're going to do with you whatever. So I would never go there. But why people are allowed to go? How can you stop them? Why people climb Everest? Every year we hear stories about people who decided that they would like to climb the mountain Everest and they never come back. Not only that, because of them, more people lose their lives because they're trying to rescue those people. So I think it's just, I don't know, general understanding that do whatever as long as you understand the consequences, you know? Lawyer, I want to ask a question. I have DACA, but I can't fix my residency. Yes, Antonio, many people who have DACA are struggling receiving a green card. On my website, I do have a blog, Shautsova.com, that's the website, where I list all possible ways for DACA holders to be able to fix their status. Usually, these ways will involve you obtaining an advance parole and coming back with it to the United States if you never had a legal entry. Okay? If you obtain DACA prior to turning 18 years old, it means, and you maintain DACA, it means that you did not have unlawful presence and you do not have it, then an employer sponsorship may help you, but you will have to leave the United States, obtain a visa, and come back. If you're a victim of a trafficking or a crime, you may qualify for a U visa or T visa. Some people, in rare cases, may qualify for 245I exception adjustment of status. There are less and less of such people, all right, because that relief is quite old. Some people may qualify for some exotic ways, but you have to speak with a lawyer, all right? But most people are going to have to file for marriage-based green cards, things like that, but they do have to have legal entry. What happens to my work permit I got from my I-130 if it got approved at first, then reopened and denied? Ouch! Ouch! You mean your I-130 was denied eventually? It means I-45 is going to be denied as well. So the work permit is going to die. Why? What happened, D? You have to fix this situation. Speak with a lawyer, all right? Please. I have a hi, Sahi. I have a 10-year green card and want to apply for US citizenship. I have only made one trip more than 6 months. Then work with a lawyer. One trip for them is enough to try to accuse you if it was more than 6 months that you lost your green card. You will have to prove that you didn't intend to stay for more than 6 months or you didn't intend to abandon your green card status, all right? Hi, Evgeny. Will they accept new DACA applications for kids brought after 2015? Not as of now. I'm not aware of this arrangement. What I know that when they're going to be accepting new DACA applications, the guidelines, the qualifications will be the first ones, the old ones, okay? How midterm elections affect immigration policy happening this day? Well, I guess just like every election, right? When elected officials would like you to vote for them, they're making moves to become more attractive to you, just like peacocks, right? They say things that they will think will attract more voters. Hi, Mohammed. Good morning. You should apply and manage adjustment of status of our green card visa. All some important documents to you. Mohammed, we absolutely can try helping you with your VAWA case. You will need to call my office 917-885-2261 and book your appointment online, and we will try to assist you. Oh, absolutely, we do handle VAWA cases, adjustment of status cases, absolutely. I got divorced and showed up to I-45 without my partner, or SCD. So you got divorced and showed up to I-45 without your partner. but you stated that I-130 was approved before previously. Um, and then the partner didn't want to wait for your I-45 to be approved and file for divorce. If you were separated, I-45 could have been approved. So I think you should speak with an attorney to see what happened also. And I do not know what happened in your marriage, but if you were abused during the marriage, you may consider vow filing. All right. Again, do not know what happened, but sometimes it does happen, unfortunately. If I-45 is denied, do the EAD automatically denied or not? Please let me know. Yes, of course. Work permit is based. The work permit is based on adjustment of status cannot survive without the adjustment of status. Okay. I would like to request an appointment. Sure, Antonio. Just go to my website, shautsova.com, or you can call my office 917-885-2261. Thank you. Спасибо. Спасибо. Интересное имя, никогда его не прочитаю по-русски. All right, let's see if you guys have more questions. Thank you, Mr. Khan. Right, so we've been discussing the reintroduction of Dream and Promise Act. It's the first attempt. Hi, Dmitry, thank you. So it's a first attempt to actually submit an immigration reform proposal after this crazy ICE enforcement action started, guys. It's very important. I think there was one more prior to that by a female senator, from what I recall. But this is a bipartisan effort. We'll see where it's going to take us. I feel like it's really is the time for them to push for the reform, right? It would be great if they did that. And it's a very important proposal. It would help so many people, especially people who are losing their TPS status. And of course, dreamers who are now basically adults. Those dreamers that first qualified for DACA back in 2012 now are adults, young adults. They're no longer kids, right? Very important. Work permits, guys. Be aware be aware of this new rule that the work permit is going to be of shorter duration for many of you. Not for all of you, by the way. Some of you are still going to be receiving 5-year cards, work permits. Do you have someone who speaks Spanish in the office? Yes, I do. I have a secretary, legal secretary who does speak Spanish, Jason. So he will absolutely be able to help you, Antonio. But I have a feeling you speak some English. I meet so many immigrants who, for some reason, are shy to speak English. We all have accents. Don't need to be shy. The first lady has an accent, so why would you be shy, Antonio? No need to be shy. Hi, Dmitry. Yes, I did visit St. Petersburg many years ago. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. Beautiful city. Sometimes it was interesting because in St. Petersburg, they have St. Petersburg is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I think everybody would agree. It also can be cold, even in summer. And they have something very interesting there, what's called white nights, when the sun does not go down pretty much. And at night, it's still almost like twilight. You still see things as if it's daytime, only as if the sun's blocked by clouds. Very, very interesting. Yeah. All right. Hi, ABC. I have pending I-45 and applied for my work permit. Okay, so you're going to receive it if everything goes well for 18 months. Can you explain investment route to green card and or Trump gold card? Sure. So there are a number of investment routes available in the United States. They start with 900,000 right now, and then goes 1,050,000. These are EB5 routes. This is when you invest into an enterprise, and the government, if you going to comply with all the conditions, is going to give you a green card. It takes about a year and a half to 2 years sometimes to get a response from them, whether or not they're going to give you this green card after you comply with all these requirements. You have to have a very strong, thorough business plan. You have to, depending on the amount that you're investing, to show that you complied with all other requirements. You have to show that the money is clean. You can prove where you got the money from. You have to show that you don't have, of course, immigration violations and things like that. You have to show this is a new enterprise. You're going to be creating 10 workplaces if we talk about 1,050,000, things like that. I see that usually the biggest challenge that people have when they want to file for this route is that they cannot prove where they got the money from. All right? That's just what it is. And you have to trace this money to basically the origin. If you say, my parents gave me this money, where your parents got the money from, things like that. So it's very thorough vetting. Now, the gold card is a bit different. A gold card is a new thing. First, you have to submit an application, and the government is going to consider it, and they will charge you $15,000. If after considering the application, they say, yes, we can give you the gold card, you will have to give them $1 million. It's not an investment, it's a gift to the government of the United States. And then they give you that gold card, which they say it's going to be like EB1 extraordinary ability situation. I think your family members should be able to benefit from it as well. We're talking about spouse and underage children, because if we're going to compare it to EB1, that's how it should work, right? And then I guess after 5 years, you'll be able to file for citizenship. You will be paying taxes in the United States, and you have to live in the United States to keep that thing, the card. Why I think it may be good? Well, it may be good if you do have a spare million, all right? You don't want to deal with no business plans and things like that. You don't want to worry about compliance too much. You do have to pass background checks, okay? And you want to resolve your situation fast, then it's a good route for you. There are variations of gold cards too. Corporate one, you can invest $2 million. The gift will be $2 million, but then you can bring any employees you want, something like that. There is another one, I think it's a platinum card. For $5 million, you will be able to get special card, special status, when you can stay in the United States for up to 270 days, and then you will not have to pay taxes here. Very interesting situation. So it's almost like you're prepaying taxes, and then you don't have to pay taxes, something of that sort. So depending on how much money you have, how sophisticated you are in running a business, because I'll be honest with you, every business guy I know who does have $1 million, every guy told me, I do not want to just give them $1 million. It's like a lot of money. So they say I'm better off doing investment, regular investment, and then at least I have a chance of getting some money back. However, if this gold card, because I still do not know, the rules are not like clear, are going to give you some waivers of inadmissibility with it, then it will be more attractive to people who actually do have $1 million to spend on it. All right. So that's what it is. All right. Let's see. Is work permit card banned for Afghans? Or no, it's just for green card holders? Yes, people from Afghanistan cannot receive any benefits right now as well. It's that's what it is. Can I use psychological evaluation for VAWA also? And I-130 approved. Yes, you can. Yep. Большое спасибо, Дмитрий. Большое спасибо за ваши хорошие слова. Калининград мне очень понравился, конечно. Чем же он может не понравиться? Красивейший город. Гораздо лучше, чем многие европейские города, более известные. Hi, ABC, like even EAD. Yes, guys. So what happened when you're from one of the 19 countries, including Afghanistan, you unfortunately cannot receive any benefits right now. No work permits, no change of status, no adjustment of status, no citizenship, anything, nothing. You cannot receive it. We're going to see how long the situation is going to last. If the government announced this vetting center situation, I think shortly they will be reopening the processes with extra vettings. Okay. Thank you very much, Malik. So this is all I have for you guys for tonight. If you like this stream, please join my social media so we can meet again. Don't forget to check out other videos and news that I publish in stories on my Instagram. It's very easy to find me online. New York immigration lawyer for Facebook. I think I have like 900,000 something followers. Instagram, it's immigration lawyer and why. And YouTube, you can just type Alina Shautsova and you're going to find me. Well, thank you very much, guys. I hope you're going to be safe and happy this weekend, and I hope to see you soon.